I'm going to drastically improve your American accent with these 3 simple sounds. And stick around to the end because I'm going to be mixing and matching these 3 sounds so you could retain everything I teach you. Hey there, I'm Gabriel from GB Voice Academy, your accent reduction instructor to get you that much closer to mastering the American accent. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you get access to all of these practice videos I put out on a regular basis. Now, the reason why these 3 American sounds are so difficult, it's because they're so close together. It's really hard to tell them apart. Well, there are subtle differences. It's all about placement. And placement is the fundamental approach to my 5-star accent reduction course. I left the link below. When we hone in on that placement, that specific area in the mask that it resonates, it's easier for our bodies to tell them apart. For example, deaf people who can't hear, they're able to speak because they are very familiar with where they resonate. So it's more of a feeling instead of just the sound. So the 3 sounds that I'm talking about are the ah. Do you see how close they are to each other? But there are differences. Physically, you can't tell. I'm not moving anything. But internally, inside of my mask, there are subtle changes. So now let's specifically dive into these 3 sounds physiologically and find out where they resonate. I want you to imagine there are 3 steps. Steps going down. 1, 2, and 3 steps going down. On the top floor, we have the sound. Do you notice how I'm sort of smiling here? There's some lift to it. Lift. What a lot of people tend to do is they lift it, but they tighten it. Lift. So instead of the they tighten it to the E sound. In words like in instead of in. Is instead of is. Eat instead of it. So there's more relaxed, forward quality to that sound. However, it's still raised. There's still some tension in there, but not too tight, where we put it back to the E sound. So repeat after me. So imagine that sound is vibrating in front of your teeth. So that's the first step. Now let's go down to the second step. So what we do from here is we go from the to the So what happens, we're slightly opening it a bit, not too much, not So let's go from the to the sound slowly. See how all of a sudden everything is more relaxed and open? Not too open though. Let's go back and forth so we feel that physiological difference. Feel that? Now do the opposite. It's so subtle, but it's different. And these are the sounds that everybody freaks out about. I can't tell the difference. That's because they are so subtle. Get. Friend. Help. Pet. My friend Ted needs help with his pet. What tends to happen with this sound is that we tend to raise that sound in the category. So instead of we go my friend, my new pet, It's too raised up. So you gotta lower down to that second step, kind of more in your throat, but not quite. Feel the difference? Back and forth. Play with that. So now the final step at the end is the So this one we're taking a step deeper, more in the throat now. We're going from the second step, to the third step. Let's go through those 3 steps now that we know them. Do you hear that difference? It's so subtle, but it's there. One more time. So it's like we're opening the mouth a little more as we go down. This is a sound that a lot of people tend to swallow up. They tend to throat this sound and kill it. For example, dull, It's very dull, dull. That L swallows that sound versus keeping it open and forward. It's very dull, right? Gulp, gulp, have a cup of coffee, gulp. Again, we're swallowing that sound versus opening up nice and relaxed. A cup of coffee. Again, let's play with that. Remember, it's all about repetition. That famous Russian saying, repetition is the mother of all learning. This is the only way you're going to retain it. This is physical. Let's go through these 3 sounds and we're going to play around with it. Ready? Here we go. I, Once you have those sounds in your body and so part of you, then this next stage of this lesson I'm teaching you here will be easy. Good, so now let's play with some words with these 3 specific sounds. And I put them in order of the step. We're gonna start high, second, third. Let's look at this for example. So what's that first sound, remember? I, bid. Going down the second step, bed. All the way down, bud. Feel that? Bid, bed, bud. My buddy bid for the bed. Feel that? It's just directing it accordingly. Subtle, subtle, subtle. Imagine these 3 sounds as roommates living in the same apartment, but they're different. Let's look at the next example. Starting from the top. Disc, desk, dusk. Hear that? Disc, desk, dusk. The disc is on the desk till dusk. Nobody would ever say that, but you get the order, right? You could feel those changes happening. Subtle, subtle changes. All right, starting from the top. Miss, mess, muss. My missus must mess the desk. What miss would mess a desk? But again, these are like tongue twisters to help you navigate through these 3 subtle sounds. Next one, starting from the top. Risk, rest, rust. Feel the difference? Feel that progression going down? The rest of the rust is a risk. Feel that? Good. We all know you can't rely on spelling when it comes to this American accent. It's not like Latin-based languages, a, e, I, o, u, that everything you see is how it sounds. Here's some examples. A lot of people pronounce it said. That's what I said. But that's wrong. Just because there's an A, it doesn't mean it has to be an a very bright sound. This one is the sound. This is one of the 3 sounds we're talking about. Said, See how tight that is? You can't rely on spelling. You have to rely on that physical feeling I was telling you about. And by the end of this video, you're gonna have this down so good, you'll instantly be able to tell the subtle differences. Let's look at another word that could confuse you in terms of spelling. Now there's an A in there. Most people would say was. I was thinking. I was. But it's actually the nice tight sound, as in was. Now you have big words like this. A lot of people would say ultimate because they see an A at the end, when it's actually ultimate. See the difference? Just because it's an A at the end there doesn't mean it's that bright ass sound. Let's look at this other word here. This throws a lot of people off. A lot of people would say considerate, but it's actually Considerate. That last A sound is the I sound. So the whole point of this is you cannot rely on spelling, you gotta go on feeling. These and the rest of my targets is what I call it in my 5-star best-selling accent reduction course, which you should check out, link below, are specific and need to be forward. So once you're familiar with where they live, then it's easier to navigate through these sounds. Like in all of my lessons that I teach here and on my course, it's about flow. It's about the linkage between sound to sound. And by practicing these videos on my YouTube channel as well as my course, you'll be able to master that flow to get you that much closer to mastering the American accent.